A very good afternoon, everyone. Today we have with us a very special guest, Miss Keerthana Reddy, the founder and principal of Toddler Town Childcare. Before we dive into the session, let me introduce her to you briefly. Miss Keerthana Reddy has been part of preschools for almost 8 years. This has been her dream and passion. The reason for starting the preschool was to have a real opportunity in order to make a difference in the young lives and also influence the future generation. She wanted to make education affordable to all the class of students by sharing quality education and help develop a child in all the spheres, that is socially, mentally, and emotionally. Being an educationist, she has a huge responsibility in not only safeguarding the life of her students, but also ensuring that she serves them the quality education by picking the best curriculum that is designed by the TTC team. A very warm welcome to you, Ms. Keerthana, once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Indeed, a pleasure to have you with us.
Same with me. It's a pleasure having you with me right now. It's been like almost quite a few times that we have got into it, but this meeting and this interview with you has been really very special to me. And thank you once again for having me with you today.
You're welcome. So to begin, Ms. Keerthana, I would like to know that what was the thought behind starting the school?
So earlier, when I initially started doing my intern during the college times, like I had a very big dream and passion of, getting into business, basically a business. But when we had an internship, I chose a topic of getting as my stream was business management. So I wanted to get into a management stream itself. So my intern, by God's grace, was to Eurokids, like one of the topmost brand that was located around my college days itself. So for me, it was like 3 months program to work with them to know the overall aspects of how preschool runs. And as I entered into that, I was like, wow, what sort of business is this? Like there are a lot of kids around us. They are like really like when we say they are a stress buster for us, right? Like we go on with so much tension, and these little ones they really make a huge magic around. So and I'm like, okay, let's deal with it, how it goes, because internship period were very scary for me. Post all of them, like 3 months passed, and that is when I got my mind stuck. Like, no, this is where I'm gonna start being an education. I want to be an educationist no matter what happens. So when I came into it, and I'm like, I saw people around also. Like few kids they really want to get into education, but they're not able to afford it because of the cost that every school have their own fee structure, right? So my main motto to start school is like I want to give equal education to everyone and the quality education. When I say the term quality itself gets that big turn in anyone's life, right? Nowadays kids are being like they're just biased with, okay, now government going kids, they'll be like this and they won't get much good education also. But in TTC it's not like that. I stand it up with this brand just because Toddler Town, so as toddlers are all around in the town, so they need to get the best of the best. And one more thing, it was like 8 years, so I work with passion. I don't work like, okay, I want to go to my workplace and all. When you work with passion, that is something amazing things that you can actually do it, right? So we will be like, wow, I need to get back to my work, my kids are waiting. So that is a joy of starting. Main reason is give quality education to everyone, not biased with irrelevant to the caste, creed. Nothing comes when it comes to education. So the main motto for me is inspiration from kids and giving back to them itself.
Wow, that's awesome. And such a lovely thought, because not everybody looks at it like that. And of course, like you rightly said, I think passion is something that has to be the driving force. That's absolutely important. So in which year did you actually establish the school?
Actually, I started in 2021. So during this pandemic, I wanted to start during the pandemic itself, but the virus and everywhere, and the pandemic was there for 2 years. I couldn't run. So those periods were something think that I could learn more to it. So I learned many things during this pandemic age, and getting deeper into the knowledge, and we started our own curriculum also along. So like that, I started my own brand called as Toddler Town Childcare from 2021.
Great. So, especially in Bangalore, there are, if you see, there are schools mushrooming everywhere, and especially preschools are there in every second or third lane. So, with so many preschools all around, how do you stand to make a difference among so many preschools?
Actually, a good question. Like when I say, ma'am, like, okay, my school should be typically a different one compared to any other thing. When I say why, the reason is, see, when we go to a preschool, the main thing is academically, most of the schools are academically focused, and they don't give much preference to physical development, nor behavioral aspects, nor, cognitive skills, any of the things. For them, academics matters a lot. So when I say to my school, I always prefer getting physical first, because post pandemic 17% of the children have, like, they have speech delay problems, or there are, like, you find 100 reasons to just step back, because the child is not freely open to people. They are just shrunk inside the house, like screen time is more, and they don't talk, they are very reserved only to their parents. And as I get admissions to my school now, I can see each kid is being developed different reasons, where I really don't think academics really help out for them. And when it says to my own school why it is so different, my first preference goes to physical development, then comes the behavioral aspect, then comes the social aspect, and then comes academics for me. So if they win all these things with those three aspects of social, behavior, and the like physical development, academics can be done at any point of time. No child is born illiterate. Everyone have their own aspects of ideas, or they implement it in a different and unique way. But when we say physical development, they'll be like, we can see the development chart, right? Some kids are too thin, they're not grown according to their age. So I want that thing to be balanced in my school. And when it comes to education wise, I can say we follow international and in-house curriculum itself. So usually when I say what is in-house curriculum, we always have the pre-designed textbooks, right? Like someone has done it, and we just need to follow it blindly, and that is called as a lower way of order of thinking. But with mine, it is not like that. We follow higher order of thinking, where kids always thinks outside the box, and more than reading and writing, we give work to their hands. So they need to make their hands messy, only then they learn something important or something new all the time. And when I say you please sit inside a classroom and write A for apple, B for ball, that doesn't work out with the child, especially post pandemic. They want to be like open classroom. So we have an open classrooms around. We don't make the child, sit in one place ideally to sit and do it. So in a week, we just follow only 3 days of writing, and 2 days would be another fun activities, which includes physical also, and also a play day. So this is how we just segregate. And when I see overall schools, as I told you, there are different aspects, but mine comes with this stretch. So I feel my school is much unique in nature, so that it gives way to many things. Like they always, I want my kids to be very independent. I don't want them to grow independent once they're in third grade, fourth grade. No, what you sow a seed is what you get in, right? When you're sowing a seed, you want them to be like good enough and being independent. So all my kids right now, by God's grace, they are very independent in eating, talking, the way they express their feeling. That is how they are. Wow. I love when they ask me 1 million questions of why. So I love to hear that.
That's so amazing. I think your thoughts, your passion, it translates in the way you talk about the school. That is so evident, and that's amazing. So I would just like to understand, of course, you've spoken about curriculum, that you've developed your own curriculum. So what is your thought that how important is, or what kind of a role does curriculum play in the way the children develop? Is it so important? What kind of emphasis do you give to curriculum?
See, importance of curriculum is the major question. When you curriculum is the heart of any school that comes in, right? When you give a right education to the children, that is where the school grows. That is where you get good name, or whatever aspect of things that is related to school. When I say, okay, I don't support, okay, this kid is in IB education, this is in IGCSE, this is in state or no, because both doesn't define what the child is. The only aspect that defines what exactly the curriculum is the growth and the development of the child. So if the child is developing good with all other aspects of, as I told, emotionally, physically, mentally, all these aspects define curriculum as. We will just, as I told in pre-designed textbook, apple is just red in color. But the kids in art, we don't have a pre-designed textbooks and we don't have any colorful books at all. It is only worksheets that are black and white. So we really don't know that our kids' apples will be in yellow, will be in black, will be in mixture of blue and green. We really don't know. That is how the kids' process are. When they know, okay, we really don't know. Sometimes apples are really red. Sometimes you get pink. But kids who know that apple is red in their textbook, they'll fix only to that. But that I don't like it. So what I do is like, it's okay. Let them put purple apple. Who told no? Maybe somewhere in the world exists that. We really don't know, right? So always we need to let the child grow when we say it's a curriculum. When we say this, okay, 1 + 1 is only 2. When we know the calculation 1 + 1 is 2. But how did you get that is a process how they learn it. So when we say their addition, like 2 in the mind, 2 in the hand, then after 2, 3, 4, that is how we all learned in pain. Now it's all mental math. So we name them as abacus, come on, and all these things. But the reason behind is rooting from the small itself. So curriculum plays a vital role in anything. Like you don't have to have like a well-known published books and all. Like just a normal worksheets where they give plenty of education, where quality knowledge, as I told you. So as I told, we don't know the squirrel is in pink in color, but my kids color the squirrel as pink. So I'll be like, wow, to see their books, it is very colorful. And I'll be like, and even my tagline is Toddler Town Childcare, adding colors to a child's dream.
Wow.
Those kids are just filling colors to their own self. That is making us think, wow, this child is very creative. Let's put in some more thing. Like for example, in pre-designed textbooks, you don't have about agriculture, importance of farming. You don't know which plant, which seed comes, what to do, and importance of farming. They waste so much food. They don't know anything.
True.
But in my curriculum, it's not like that. We just teach them different fruits, vegetables, how it grows, what are the importance. You're not supposed to waste. When they do all these, this is curriculum actually. It's not that, okay, A for apple, B for ball is never the curriculum. When they waste one food that they get, to grow rice, they take 90 days of that 90 days effort shouldn't just go in vain just because these kids, waste the food and all. To give the right education is what curriculum is what I believe in. This is what I felt. So
wow. No, it's really, I think this is so much connected to life skills that you're talking about when you spoke about agriculture, and it's so true. Of course, there are a lot of schools who take them for field trips to teach them that the food doesn't come from the supermarket, but where it is grown is what they need to actually see.
And even in my school, there is place where they can really do agriculture, like organic farming. And we name them to small names where they can just, okay, this is done by Ira, this is done by Ishan, this is done by so once the period of that growing things comes, we'll just give that same to the parents so that they cook something and give it back to them. So that is a proud moment for the child also, saying this, I grew this, so I'm a farmer right now. So they just get dressed according to the farmer, like how they get ready. So this is how, that is a time where we do it on, as I told, weekly we follow 2 days of extracurricular things. This is when we follow that. So they'll be waiting for that process when it is going to come in.
I'm sure that's really interesting. So I would like to know that right now, what age groups do you have, or what grades do you have in your school?
Right now we are open from 6 months, the infant care, till 6 years, till they complete UKG. So from when it says for infant care, we do have trained professional nurses, retired nurses from the hospitals itself. So they can take care till grade, 1 year old or something. Post that, we have our trained professionals who are done their CPRs, they have done their NTT courses. To take care of the child itself, there are many courses that they have done. No? Everyone are trained professionals itself. So they are well known to handle the kids very well.
So till what time is your this child care that is given?
My school right now is from 9 to 6 for daycare, but actual schooling starts from 9:30 to 12:30. Because see, beyond me being a principal of the school, I am a mother too. So when I know that young children, no matter what season is it, summer, winter, rainy, no, they really don't want to get out of the bed very soon. But there is a saying, early to bed, early to rise makes the man healthy and wise. But these kids need more rest to grow much better. So my school timings are from 9:30 till 12:30. The school exists. Post that, if at all the child wish to stay on daycare basis and all, they will continue till 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock at times. But right now, my school is from 9 to 6, the divisions are, but classified under 3 steps.
Okay.
So some kids opt till 1 o'clock for daycare, some kids opt for like 3, then again till 6. So these are the batch wise we are doing it.
And what is the teacher-student ratio that you follow?
The teacher-student ratio is again, like, I don't want people to think like, oh, okay, this school is super hit, now they are gonna just getting admissions, 1,000 admissions in one stretch, but that doesn't help us. Every child that comes to my school, I wish them to be educated. So every money that's spent by the parent should be given justice. So I just take 14 students in one classroom, like 2 teachers will be handled at 1:7 ratio will be there. So in that, how we teach them is it's an open classroom. So there will be an entire ground where they will just put benches around and we will make the kids sit on the chair, and one teacher will be taking care of one child and rest all 6 will be playing around. Okay, so if one child gets over, like she's done with her studies, then she will be going and we'll call the other child in. Like this, the time constraint will also be low, and at the same time the kids will never get bored of, oh, I have to go to school, oh, I'm feeling drowsy. No, they will be like, now it is playtime, now it is read time, this is eating time. So the time itself they will divide. So now when I say, Poshit, it's your turn to read, they will just come. They might finish it within 15 minutes, 20 minutes or 5 minutes. It's left to the child how do they take it. But we don't compare any child. Okay, one child is just finished in 5 minutes, why are you not? That is how we do it. This is the process of me making sure that every child who pays it gets equally benefited from whatever they get. As I told, when you work with passion, this is what happens.
Yeah, wow, awesome. I wish I'd studied in a school like this. Okay, you know how it is with parents. They tend to, suppose they have a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old and they see another child of the same age group, and they tend to think, and especially if the other child knows much more, especially academically, maybe can read probably 3-4 letter words, or can, recite rhymes or whatever. So parents are usually, they get worried that why is my child not up to the mark? So would you what do you think, that is there any particular way that a child learns?
Yeah, I got your point. The thing is, see, the word comparison is what parents do, and that is the biggest mistake where they do also. See, we can't say not all 5 fingers are same, right? Your child may be very quick. My child is a slow learner. Another one is very good in physical sport and not in academics. Any portion or any division they are working in has to be supported. It's not only academics. Whoever parents come to my school, I also say the same thing. Academically, don't think that this is what is going to happen. We really don't know what they're going to become in future. Some might be an educationist, some might be a police, or some, they choose their own career. Academics doesn't help them anyway. Some, as like we have all done, mine is complete an IT stream. I wanted to get into IT, but I have become an educationist right now. So there is a huge division, right? We can't compare kids like that. And when I say, why, ma'am, my kid is not learning, give it time. When pressure the child, read, the child starts to hate whatever he's doing. We fail to understand the child likes to draw or likes to do some artwork or dance, music. We fail to understand the extracurricular activities and focus only on academic. And when you told how would I help them in, I keep them 3 set of examinations, like term 1, term 2 and term 3. In term 1, I have certain set where they have to read and write. For example, if the child doesn't know to write A, I focus on the thing that he doesn't know. The known fact, I will just let him go because he already knows it. There is no point in me going back and cribbing around, write A, B. When what he doesn't know is what we focus more. So we ask parents, can you please pick your child 1 hour late? Can you please send us food so that we can just serve him here and teach him the dress thing so that he will never get back out from anyone. And none of my teachers over here also points that, ma'am, they don't do well, ma'am, they don't do this, you're bad in studies, you're good in that. No, anything they do is like we always push them in a motivation. Come on, you can do it, let's do this together. So when motivation is what we needed with the children. Sometimes the kids will be very stubborn enough in saying, why am I like this? Ma'am, I don't know to read and write. I have not written at home, I'm not gonna write here. It's okay, you're not writing at home, but can we try here? Because I don't know how to write. Can you teach me? That is when they come into forward like, ma'am does doesn't know, let me go and tell them.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to be students and they have to be teachers to know the pain what exactly they are going through.
True.
And the main small suggestion that I wish to give parents is, never compare your child to anyone. We really don't know, they might be your son or my kid can really be a future leader, where we will really hesitate, like, did I scold him in this point of age? This golden period from 0 to 6 years will never come back with a child, right? So we really don't want that to happen. So I really don't wish parents saying that, like, my kid is a slow learner and all. There is every problem, there is a solution behind. So when you speak it out, you will get to know. So the kids at home, they will never do anything. So over here, they'll be like, ma'am, I want to read, I want to write. Can you please come on Saturday so that I can sit here and play with you? None of my kids will be on the ground or on the, in the classroom. They'll always be behind me on my office table. So I will be like, the teachers has to take them and go. Sometimes I should go and teach them because they don't want to learn with the teachers over there. But everyone are like very good. It's okay. Like, all kids are not same.
Yes.
And all everyone are not, equal.
True. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's, how parents are today, that most of them, of course, are ambitious about their children. Like, so they want them to explore a whole lot of things. So once they come back from school, then they have, say, maybe a music class, then dance class or art or something like that. So the child is really occupied and parents are actually wanting their children to learn a whole lot. So do you think that there are any particular skills like that the child should inculcate, or parents can help the child inculcate to help the child build an overall personality?
Yes. The parents have to just support them in one thing, like, as I told, encourage. Give them a motivational thing and just give them that encouragement to go and stand in front of anyone, no matter what happens. Like, if he fails to attain that, it's okay. But that feeling of going and standing in front of 10 people is what the child achieves something. I really don't. Okay. Now my child is really very shy to go to the public and all. I really don't know what her faith is. I don't know where she's destined to. She might be a public speaker too, because now this age doesn't justify, or they don't come to the conclusion like, this is my future is all about. They don't just completely put a full stop to it. There is always a comma where they keep on growing again and again, right? So what I say to parents is, just encourage your child, because from school the wordings, whatever it is, will just come for 60% and rest 40%. Obviously the efforts should come from the home. And when school is encouraging and home is discouraging them, you can't do anything, you are hopeless, what is the child up to? So that is where he or she will develop the mental state where they can't balance either of the thing. That's where they become very stubborn. They become very adamant. They don't want to go to their parents. They always want to spend time to it's okay to get failed. It's okay if they fail in their examination, because there is always 100 chances around. But when you pressure your child, the tiny brain won't take anything of how we go through, right? Hence, when they get into this depression, the only thing they get to is talking. Then the speech delay problems will come. They will not open up. All these things happen. And in my school, we have trained clinical therapists also, who help such kids to get into all those. Like, as I told, like, one child till 1.5 years, she was completely fine. Okay. Post 1.5 years, she completely stopped talking. She started to, like, I can probably call a special child. Okay. Like, all these things. Now the child is 4 years and she's just spoke till 1.5 year. Like, when she was 1.5. What is the age right now? Where is the 2.5 years of a precious life went off? I'm telling you that. Like, when okay, I am very rich enough now. Let me go and take to the clinic, take some speech therapist, go there. Parents can shell out, but they can't get the child back. They can't get the voice of the child back. When they're not doing it, probably if they could have sat few minutes in front of the kid and spoke what exactly happened to the love care, the child will get back anything, right? So this is what I say, like, encourage, love, support is more than enough to just see a drastic graph growing up in your child, instead of saying, no, you can't do this. Look at your friend got 100 out of 100 and you got only 10. It's okay. Like, okay, you showed your frustration out, but any frustration you've proven, I understand that not all parents think like me. They don't have patience like how we do. But when you want your child to be ambitious at one point of time, it's better to control like, we are just mirror images. The kid sees you and it grows. You show anger, it will obviously take anger, right? It's just the replica of a parent, right? This is how just love, care, support encourages that would be more than enough for the child, because many kids around the globe, they are suffering without no proper love, no proper care, no proper concern, just academically focused. Many kids have even suicided themselves, like not getting good marks because of the pressure. Why to pressure the small kids? Like, it's not worth it.
True, absolutely true. So I'm sure that as part of your curriculum or the way that you have it, the way it is planned, that there would be a whole lot of activities on a regular basis or so-called special days that you have and some kind of annual events. So if you could throw some light on what kind of activities that happen for the children on a regular basis.
Yeah. And one more thing is, like, whatever I say, and other aspect is, I don't do much celebrations at school because I really don't believe in celebrations. The reason why is post UKG. Okay, like, see, playgroup, nursery, LKG, and UKG. These are the stages where we want, okay, the kids will get attracted to everything. But post UKG, when they go to grade 1, the proper schooling starts, right? Like, they need to sit in one place, they need to write, they need to read and all. There you won't get all these celebrations done, right? So what they feel like, okay, now my school was much better, now I'm not able to adjust in this school, so let me not go to this school, and they start to hate it. So what I felt, see, every what do you call, experience of your own will give you a lesson behind, right? My
Yes.
daughter does that. Actually, my daughter does that. She's in grade 1, and she is like, mama, your school is much better than mine because you have a lot of celebrations. And I'm like, probably if one child has got this thought, all other child would have got the same thought. So we can't go and do anything, right? Apart from like Independence Day or like Diwali or very few and rare celebrations, I will indulge in decorating the school or doing anything. Apart from that, every single festival has to be celebrated in a very simple and a subtle way. I believe in simple things, so simplicity. So I want the kids also to be the same. It's not matter of money for me to get it decorated or anything, but it matter of the child's development age, where she thinks, okay, if there is one celebration, I'm gonna get a goodie bag. So when for that goodie bag, the child will be eager to wait. That I don't want it, because with every other person, she or he will be thinking, I need a goodie bag because I did something new today. So today is one festival, please give me some goodie bags. I don't want that to happen. I can't just like, at present I can't make my kids happy. At the same time, I need to think about their future as well, right? So this is how I just get into it. No much celebrations, everything within the curriculum they enjoy as a everyday, daily learning process.
Okay. So do you have your annual days or sports days as well?
Yes, we have planned for an annual day. So 1 year would be an annual day and 1 year would be a sports day. So when it comes to physical development, as I told, we have tied up with fit cups. So fit cups are specially trained only for like pre-primary students. So they have gymnastics, yoga, karate, martial arts, and volleyball, football, cricket, all these outdoor sports activities, yoga, meditation. These are the aspects where the kid learns more, right? They need to grow up with that. So like this. So on sports day, all these things would be a part of it. And when I say annual day cultural program, that is a different part. So one day would be annual day and one day would be a sports day.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because a lot of preparation is also required in all these events.
Yeah.
So, as we call them, the workforce, which is which are the teachers, in case anybody is interested in joining your institution. So what is the process that you follow? And apart from the qualifications, are there some qualities in particular that you look for before recruiting the teachers?
Yes, definitely. Like, there are major aspects that I look in when I just, hire any teacher or something. The first and foremost, the point would be like, every teacher has to work with passion. If there is no passion in working in a preschool, then this job is, especially in my school, there you don't have any place for it. And what I say for them is like, treat other kids like your own kids. I know it is hard for them to accept it. Some kids are very violent, some kids are very, stubborn. But beyond it, when you think in one prospect of your mind, you'll be like, if she or he is my own kid, will we react in the same way? No, we will treat them in a different way, right? Education, certificates never define it. Everything is like your personality, your behavior, your way of thinking, and how passionate you are in working. So beyond all these things, yes, I do hire teacher only who are NTT and MTT trained, and they are like very good in English and all. So beyond all those, for me, these other aspects are more important. So I give them a trial period of a while. If I in observation and all, I will be like, why? When I question why, if I don't get a proper answer, they will be fired. So every kid shouldn't feel that like I am going and sitting with a stranger kind. So once they leave a home, they have to come here and see like, wow, I have to go to school. They need to get up early in the morning with a fresh smiling face and say, my ma'am is waiting for me, I need to go kind. And instead of that, I see many kids, they'll be crying around to other schools nearby. I'll be like, why not? They'll over here, they'll be like, the parents call me on Saturday and Sundays I'm closed. So they call me and they're like, ma'am, can you please open on Saturdays, because my son and they're not listening to me at home. They want to go to school. So this is how I initially get from parents. So it is like a proud feeling also, and it is like, wow.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That shows that how much love they have, and they so look forward to coming to the school. That's amazing.
If you don't show them love, they will never come back again to you, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's so true. So now, yeah, I understood that when the way you teach the children, like your teachers, the way your methodology is, how you take one child at a time. I'm sure with that, probably the scope of any child being left out would be quite slow, or would be quite less. But just to understand that if there are certain children who are not able to come up to a certain level, so what kind of a support is given to such children?
For such children, especially like a special child, when if I want to mention it out, as I told you, any child to get back to the normal stage, they take a lot of time. It just doesn't happen with a snap, like saying, no, I just need within 2 months, can you please make my child proper? I'll be like, sir, if you have no patience, I'm sorry, this place is not for you. Because the child, especially a special child, needs to understand that I am its friend. I can be with her even for like 2 hours or 3 hours without anyone else. The child has to believe in us, like the trust. To get that trust, it's not so easy for the child, like, oh no, okay, sometimes it dirties the pants. It's okay, like they are kids, they are special, they are God blessed child, we can't do anything for them. So all we need is you just show love. They will hit you, it's okay, they're kids. Why, if your own kid hits you, won't you take it? Or will you just slap them off and go? No, you won't, right? The same way you treat them, you don't get anything else. So when see with these kids, when when I hire teachers, I can't just hire them with money. So when they don't work with passion, this doesn't work out anywhere. Oh, every month I'm gonna get salary, so why should I work like so much? These kids are not mine, so why should I train them? This is not into my basket, why should I go and give it to them? The only reason I do is like, you take care of my child, I will fill your pocket. If you don't take it, and if you get a less price or salary to this month, you don't even expect why, because you already know the reason. I don't even have fixed salaries in my school because of the same reason. Every child, whether it is a special child or a low, like a slow learner, or low in compassion, any child has to be treated equally. If there is no equal treatment, that is not the place for me at all. And I'll be like, the doors are always open, you can just walk out of the school without even asking me why. So when I say, and even for parents also, don't expect your child to become an Einstein just 1 month post you join the school. They take a lot of time to trust in a person, where it's not easy for the child also, from one environment to another environment. The shift is drastic. Some school, they really show a lot of love. To come out of that love and get into the school where they don't have that, the child takes a different phase. So minimum of 6 months is what I request to parents to wait. Post that, we can decide whatever it is. And for special children, as I told, we have a clinical therapist around who helps the child to get much better. Focusing on academics is zero with us. We want the child to at least talk. Later on, it's okay to teach the child with when it comes to academics and all. That clinical specialist that I told you will be behind the child all time, in and out of it, and observing. And every week we would be giving a daily report to the parent, like, this is what we observed, this is what the child learned, this is how the process is and all. And probably that would be much beneficial for the parent also. And kids become very special because they don't have anyone to talk. Kids are the healers. So once you put special child with a normal child, obviously a special child will be a normal child too, right? Like kids can only heal kids. Adults can't heal kids. So they need to talk, jump around, do anything only with them. So that is where they make wonders out of it.
So do you have for such children in case, because of course you have one person who's a clinical therapist, but is there any, do you have some kind of shadow teachers as well for if there are 2-3 children and at the same time they do require a little bit of help during the classrooms? So at that time, do you also have somebody who gives special attention to such children?
The clinical therapist is also a teacher too. So
Okay.
even she's a trained teacher also, and she's a trained clinical specialist. Apart from her, there are few other teacher who knows to handle special children with their education and all. Ma'am, it is really very difficult for us to train special aided child with academics. But it is easy for us to train them with talking, behaviors and all, because academically to get restored in their brain, it's something very a huge challenge for them itself. Like themselves, they feel like I can't do it kind. So they once they start to get pressured from their brain, they'll be like they become more violent where we don't want that. So even if they are like a huge genius and all, there are some people who has some disorders like this. I really don't call it a disorder, but it is a fact that I need to accept it. This is how it goes with. So academically, when they ask, I will literally say no to it. But when I say with behavior or other, being a normal child who can walk without anyone's support or, with mental conditions and all, we would say definitely yes.
So another question which is predominantly on the minds of parents is to do with safety, and especially in today's times, they're all the time concerned about that. And I'm sure that all the schools are following certain safety protocols. So at your school, what are the safety steps that you have taken in to ensure that children remain safe within your premises?
Yeah. When it comes, the entire campus has around 14 cameras. Like it is almost 3,200 square feet campus. So entire campus has around 14 cameras around. So I don't give live access to the parent though, but the access would be there because I don't want them to get distracted with their work by constantly having a check on the child. And we have COVID vaccine, like they are all vaccinated, and entire staff is vaccinated. And we have this temperature check also as soon as the kids come, and we are sanitizing their hands when they enter. And teachers are wearing, face mask and, that face shield and all. So, and another thing is once the child gets hurt, we inform to the parents post the treatment. So how would we give the treatment is we are tied up with Cloud9 hospitals and the famous doctor called as Dr. Nilesh Rao, and he has 15 years of experience in this pediatric department. So we just call him and ask, he's handy anytime. So based on what hurt or what kind of the wound is, he just suggests us and we are going to do that. And all the teachers are CPR trained also, and we know basic first aids. So everyone are being trained medically and academically too. So they are like independent in everything. When it comes like fire exit, everywhere they'll be like we are trained with them. So every day there would be a training process for them, like post schooling hours, whether it is academic wise or on other special things also.
Okay, that's great. So in your, when it comes to homework or any kind of activity, do you have some kind of a policy in place where children are given some kind of a work on a regular basis? And if they are given, do you expect parents to help the children?
No, we don't do that over here because many parents are working parents and they hardly get time to sit and be within their family members. I am a person who really give more preference to family time, so called, because over here the children will go at 6 o'clock, and if I give them homework post that, where will husband, wife, and the child, or mother, father, and the child be together? I really don't believe in homeworks also. If that all I give them homework, it would be rare. Like for UKG going kids, probably they are like quite elder, like old enough to sit themselves and they can write, right? So most of like 90% we will finish it off at school itself, and we don't like on every Fridays we do give them, like if at all it is there, and we don't give it on daily basis. On Fridays we give because of the same reason. I don't want to spoil the family time also. And on Fridays when they give, they can get it back to us on Monday. So any art and craft or any leftover syllabus that they have not completed, so they will be getting it on Friday. So every Friday they're gonna get a school kit, so they have to go back home, they have to do it, or they can just get it on Monday. It's they call when they want to do it, but they have to do it on Friday. Mondays to Mondays.
Okay, so almost coming to the end of a session, but I would really like to know from you that what is it that actually inspired you to become an educator?
Oh, this is a great question. As I told, I was like, I really love kids. Okay, like there is
I'm here.
okay, yeah. So as I told, like I love kids. Like you don't know how much I love kids. Like there is no end to my love for the little ones at all. So when I see these watchman kids or housekeeping kids, they really want their kids to be educated, but they are not able to get themselves educated because of the funds or the money that they quote in the schools. To be very honest, whatever I earn in the school is not meant for me. Can never be meant for me at all. Like whatever comes, it just goes to the people who are really passionate in working for it and making the school a successful one. I have students like watchman kids coming to school or housekeeping kids coming to schools right now. But the thing is, let us give equal education. Now they'll say, oh, my kid is in this apartment, a luxury apartment. How can my kid go and speak to a watchman kid who is who doesn't have a proper home to stay, and we give food and they eat the leftovers? Why is that? Even their child, and even this child is a child, right? I don't want to differentiate anyone with education. You can't give a luxury life to your kid. We don't even have to give luxury life to our kid. The only best asset that you can give your child is education. So give it at right point, so that every kid, once they grow big, they can do their own future. Like you want to make your kid get into doctor or something, like on medical, you make them, let them read. Post that he or she will earn their own living. There is nothing for you to do with it, right? So when you can't, okay, watchman kids, they're guarding our home, they're doing everything, and they can't, that shouldn't be a heredity for their kids also. Even, okay, my father is a watchman, even let me also go and do watchman work or driver work. No, they have a different life. We chose them. Okay, they didn't ask us. So we always need to give best of the best to any child. Beyond that, as I told, like they always have to have that one thing in their mind, like no one like is like up and down, big and small. Okay, I have high standards, you don't have any standards. No, everyone are equal to me. So to be an educator, this is the main thing that flashed my hand. Like, let me give quality education to every people, like no matter what range they are, which house they live, who they are. That uniformity has to be maintained with everyone. Then I don't think there are any like illiterates in our country at all, right? Like when you give education with all other schools, why would people sit and cry like my child is not there? See, I don't maintain a fixed rate structures at all. To be very frank, people who can afford, I will literally afford. Like my fee structure would be the same. People who really can't afford and they just come forward saying, "Mom, can you please take my child? But I can afford so much." I would do that to them because I want the child to learn. Because one of my watchman children, there are three, there are twins. Like for three kids, he's paying only 5,000 rupees. And you believe it or not, all the three are amazing in their academics. Do you believe it? They speak Nepali. They don't know to speak in English. Post only 2 months time they are here. They're telling rhymes. They know to write A to Z, and they're telling numbers. They are saying like Inky Dinky, the new animal songs. And I'm like, wow, what else you wanted? This is the success for me. Like when child grows, the success come to an educator. Money doesn't make us happy.
True,
but when you see this is what makes me happy. So when you ask what is the role of this is my role, and this is my happiness of getting. I love to come to school every single day because I love to see my kids. If one day if I don't come, neither my staff nor my kids, "Ma'am, why are you not here? Can you please come? Can you please come?" That is how it goes, right? Working with passion and love towards your job is what things
really
goes out to.
That's amazing, absolutely amazing, really. And finally, a little on of course you've just onboarded on a platform which is the Skoolz, but so far how has your experience been with us?
Another one is like I have a standalone school, so mine is a standalone and I am a believer of God, and I believe Baba Sai Baba is the biggest devotee, and I am his devotee. So when I started, I had a lot of struggles over my schools, like a previous school, like previous branch that was in Belendur also, there were some issues happened, so I had to move to Kasvanali over here. And again with the footfall, like this is a standalone school, and KPC layout layout itself has around 10 preschools. You told lane by lane, but for me, it is just 3 to 4 houses across. There are 10 schools.
Wow.
So with mine, it is really quite difficult because all are branded schools and people don't identify the effort that has been put on with the standalone schools because of the brand. So I was like, okay, what is this? Then I initially went low also and I was like, what next? What next? That's when Monica called me regarding, ma'am, we need to talk about the school admissions and all. Earlier, I had got, stabbed by previous online fraud saying that we are going to give you admission so much that blah blah and all. I'm like, okay, we had invested it. And when I asked I am very emotional person. So when I asked myself to the God, and he's like, that is when I got a call. Probably he gave me a hint like, okay, this platform or this person might help you to get a better life ahead. So why not you try for it? So when Monica called me, I told, okay, let's meet Riyansh. So that's when Riyansh walked in and when he explained it to me, that is where I thought like, this is what I was expecting for. This is what I was looking for. So why not to get into it? So far, Riyansh and all other team in the schools have really been the biggest, probably an asset to Toddler Town, so that to help them to get much better, because right now I have only 20 kids and they are getting the best of the best education. With Skoolz platform, probably when I get showcased to many parents, probably they will know what I'm offering all about, because I had never got this platform earlier in my life so that I can come and attend and these kind, like I have not gone into some expose and all, like education expose. But when it is something new, there is something great. So on a positive note, I should really thank Riyansh and his team, like entire Skoolz team, to be a part of TTC and making a TTC into a better future. And I'm much waiting for it. And when you work with one person, it's not just for temporary period, right? They're always on long run. I don't want it on a short notice. So when I say on a long run, obviously schools will be a part of TTC till TTC comes to an end. Probably it will not stop, but it keeps on going further and further.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's really true, but let me tell you, Keerthana, it's been such a refreshing and chat and the conversation that we've had today. I mean, and there are so many takeaways, and the parents who are going to be watching will really know the kind of amazing work with the kind of passion. And I think it's such an honor, to know that you are doing it also not just for only a certain class of children who can afford the education, but even for the ones who cannot. And that's something which is truly noble. So hats off to you. And we pray that your school really scales great heights going ahead. And you will not just have one branch, you will have many, many branches in the near future. So we wish you all the very best. It was an amazing experience talking to you. We hope to have you back with us once again.
Before I just sign off from this, I have a small suggestion or a small saying that I have to tell parents. Please don't differentiate your children with any other children, like with comparing, or he can do better or she can do better. This kid is rich, you have to be friend with only that kid. True. We ourselves are creating a huge mess in the near future where we are not understanding at the present, but later stages, we don't even know those kids will never even turn back to their own parents. So be kind, be simple. No matter you live in a luxurious bungalow or a mansion, that doesn't matter. But when you don't know to respect people, that is where you lost everything, just like that. And whatever we grew up is completely different from this generation that they have grown up, right? So this generation is all about, mama, I need this, next second it will be there. But we were not grown up like that. So because everything is handy to the child has become very adamant. I'm not saying don't buy anything, but there is a restrict. You be gentle to some people, I will buy you this. Appreciate your child, never compare your child to anyone, because this is the only gift that you can gift your child, and nothing else can make them happy. When they fail, pat their back, be with them. When they succeed, you enjoy and make party with them. That is where the kid grows, and that is where everyone will be happy around. You take care of them now, they will take care of us in future. If they're not, how we treated them at the young age is how they treat us when get back. We put them to hostel, they put us to home, old age home. That's a simple concept, but we just make things complicated with the children. Now children are much sharper than how I and you are.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. And thank you so much for having me on this platform right now. And it's an immense pleasure being with you. And thanks a lot again, and thanks. I don't know how many times I wanted to tell.
No.
But it's a pleasure working with you people.
It was absolutely an honor. Thank you so much, Keerthana,
Thank you
and we
so
wish
much.
you all the very best.
Thank you. Looking forward to have more interviews like this.
Sure, 100%. 100%.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.